Hey guys, tonight I'd like to show you how to properly tighten your pressure plate onto your inner clutch hub, how to finalize this assembly. This is an H2 clutch. Now they all tighten down exactly the same. The S's are the same, the H is the same, the H1, the H2 is the same, and even my Z is the same as this in this regard. Okay, this is an H2 basket. You can tell by the relief cut here. And you hear guys talk about the ring. That's the ring. And it goes over those fingers in an effort to keep the fingers from spreading under centrifugal force. So, you also hear them talk about the second to last friction plate being smaller in diameter than the others. And what they're talking about there is this area right here. Okay, this area, if your friction is not ground down already, it has to be shorter than this one. You can see how this one's shorter, and the reason for that is the ring has to go around it. Okay, if you get them in the wrong order or whatever, then you're going to trap the other frictions in there because they won't pass through. Okay, they're the same OD. Okay, see that will not pass through. So the order is, once you get them all in, you would drop this particular friction in. See if I can get it in there. Okay, and this is a rough basket. I haven't done anything with this one. It's used. Then you would drop your steel in. Then you take the ring, and if you can get it started over there, you slide the ring on. Okay. Then the last friction actually holds the ring from sliding off. Okay. Let's see if I can get that in there. So there. And there's a side view of it. Okay, and that's how it is. You can see how this plate, this friction, I'm sorry, is holding this ring in. Okay, now I'll pop this one back out, and hopefully we can see that. I get the light just right. You can see where the friction, let me get the other steel out. Okay, you can see how that's inside there and would allow it to move back and forth. So that's one of the common problems. This is the proper order that they need to be in. So let me see if I can get that back together. There it is. Okay. So there you have all your steels and frictions in. Now it's time to bolt the pressure plate and springs in. Now, forget the springs, forget the cups for right now, just for this demonstration. These bolts, okay, when you screw them in, they go down, and when you tighten them, they tighten dead against these towers. There's no gap in here or anything, okay? That's the way they're designed. They're all that way. The Z's, the S's, H1s, H2s, okay? They're all that way. If you assemble it and you have a problem, you got something else wrong, okay? Now, a lot of guys in the past, over the years, will either drop spacers down in these spring buckets, spring cups, in an effort to raise the spring out and get more tension. Not a good thing. You can do it, but you got to watch. You don't want these coils to bind. A coil bind is this coil hitting that coil, hitting that coil. In other words, it won't compress anymore. Okay, so you got to have the right spring. Stock, they do not have any washers inside the cups. The spring just simply goes in there, whoop, as such. Okay, and then a bolt bolts it down. Okay, and that is it. There's no more to it than that. When we put the pressure plate on, you'll notice this drilled hole, and there's no other drilled hole anywhere else. Okay, and you also notice this mark right there. Okay, and there's no other mark like that on any of the other circles. spring cups, spring openings, whatever. That's your alignment. So all you do is get the mark over the hole, wiggle it around, and there, till it goes in. That's it. Then, now when I do a clutch for guys, I will take and deburr all the edges here, you know, polish them and stuff, and I go in and I deburr all this, and I deburr everything to get a nice smooth operating clutch. You know, the more things that are deburred, the better they work, regardless. You stick all these in there, just like that. Again, no washers or nothing. Whoop. Okay, now some guys will also put washers under here or under here to try and achieve the same thing. Putting them under here doesn't do a darn thing except shorten your bolt. Okay, guys will though stick them under the cups. Okay, that's not stock. It's not correct. Then just get them started. You should be able to do just like I'm doing. If you can't start these by hand like this, it's because the spring is too long to start with. It could possibly be the wrong spring. So there you go. And if you want to, you know, clean these threads up and use a little bit of blue Loctite on the threads, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Don't know that you need to. But there, like I say, there's nothing wrong. I would not use red. Then you just start working these things in and just go until this washer stops, until it touches the tower. Okay? And you just go. And I'm kind of doing a cross pattern. Okay? To a degree, I guess. Doesn't much matter. Just don't tighten one all the way up and then the other ones. So I just go around. Do like 4 turns piece or whatever. And you'll feel it. It'll just go stop. Okay? And this is the tension, of course, that presses the plates and steels together and gives you a clutch. Then you also want to make sure that these washers do indeed fit inside the cup. If they don't, you got a problem there. That one just hit bottom. That one just hit bottom. It just stops, you know, you can feel it hit the tower. Okay, there, that one just hit. Did I do that one already? No. Okay, so now they're all bottomed out. I'm just going to go around, make sure, yep, they're all bottomed out. Okay, so there, it's properly assembled. Now we just got to tighten them. And again, you're putting a 6mm bolt into aluminum. Okay, so watch how tight you tighten these, because they will strip. Perhaps yours are already. It's hard to tell. If they are, it's not a great big loss. You can probably get a tap, longer bolt, tap that hole clear through if it isn't already. Some of them are, I believe. And just use a slightly longer bolt as long as it don't come out the other side. Okay? And you should be good to go. So these you just want to tighten as you would any other 6mm thread, 6x1 bolt into a piece of aluminum. Okay? And this probably isn't quite as tight as I would go, but I'm just trying to give you an idea here. And again, like I say, you can clean up the threads really good, alcohol, whatever, vodka, and use like blue Loctite, okay? You know, mineral spirits or rubbing or isopropyl alcohol, whatever, to clean the threads up. Vodka would work, I guess. And there you go. That's all there is to it. Thanks, guys. I just wanted to reiterate on these bolts. Some people will say that you can take them and you know, loosen them up and you adjust it until you get the tension you want or something. I would highly recommend you don't do that. And the reason is, if one of these were to back out, you would have what I would call a loose cannon that's flying around in your clutch assembly, and that can't be good. Okay, so again, you know, just to drive this point home, These bad boys are supposed to be seated on the tower. That washer should be hitting the tower. Your coils should not be bound, and that's it. So just be very careful. If that's what you end up having to do, you've got something wrong. If your clutch is a stock unit and you're using either stock Kawasaki, or EBC springs that are made for that clutch, okay, there's something else wrong. Okay, but this is the proper way to do that.